there, everybody. Yes, I'm back. I didn't even know where to begin. And how odd is it that when I'm making my video after being pretty much not making videos for about a week or so or more, I'm making it and it's an incredibly foggy day. And as such, I figured I'd just make one today. My batteries, that was one of the last things that I talked about, and it really put a huge damper in my little situation. I had to sort of mix things up a bit more. It's working. It's not 100%, but you know, it'll get me through, and I think that's what I've learned from this. It'll get me through. And I think the other thing that I need to put in perspective is the expectation I had of these batteries. They were golf batteries, discount golf batteries. So me expecting anything more than maybe a couple of years or 3 years out of them may have been misdirected. Although I think if I took better care of them, like for example, not draining them, I think it could have gone better. But they were already kind of acting a little wonky. I noticed that over time they weren't, charging up as much. I've been really lucky with a lot of things, especially with this van. And I think it's just part and parcel of, what happens when you've got a van build and when it's something that you're really interested in, and to the point where it becomes a daily task to make sure that everything's in working order. And it really is a tiny home on wheels. And like any tiny home, you're going to have problems, like any house rather, except it's smaller. Like for example, at this time I don't have any problems with my roof, with my van roof, because I just don't, right? However, if you own a house, you may have to change your roof, and that's going to cause you thousands and thousands of dollars. Whereas some of the fixes that have been incurred on my van build have been fractional compared to owning a home. Of course, in my situation, one of the primary reasons I started up my van build back about 3 years ago was to supplement my training for running OCR events and so on and so forth. It was something that's was really important to me, and it still is. Granted, I haven't been training a lot at all. I've been sort of, I have been distracted with challenges of life. Well, we'll put it that way. Anytime you go through life, you're going to have challenges. You're going to have problems. You're going to run into issues where, for example, I'm running into traffic right now. You're going to run into issues that you never expected was going to happen, and how you respond to it versus react typically determines the result. So I think it's normal to have a knee-jerk reaction to certain things, especially things that is extremely stressful, obviously unexpected. But learning how to respond properly and develop a solution is so critical. Like right now, I'm going to be late to my appointment because I'm traveling about 10 kilometers an hour on this highway, which normally you travel approximately 100 kilometers an hour. So just let that truck through, because I know it's a pain trying to get in. So yeah, so responses, very important. At this rate, I most likely will be delayed. Okay, back to the batteries. So what's the plan with my batteries? Right now, I'm going to work with what I've got. A few things that I've done to sort of make sure that my diesel heater runs. I've had to run it a few times, although this week it was pretty good. I think it was warm, and then the result is this fog at this point. But I had to run it a few times, and I turned on my engine to charge it up a bit, and I can get about half an hour to an hour before it starts to degrade. And really, in many cases, that's all I need, because my work break is only about an hour. But I definitely can't go for too long, for hours at a time like I used to, like anywhere from 6 to 7 hours anywhere, and have it running. So I guess for me, if in the event that I have to stay warm, I have lots of options. I can bundle up a bit more, right? Although my feet will be cold, I could do other things. For example, like turn on the heater and then turn it off again, warm up, and so on and so forth. So those are the kind of things, the strategies that I can get into. He's still driving on the shoulder. What's going on up there? Okay, it looks like the traffic is easing up a bit, so that's always good. So the plan is possibly get another battery, a new battery, and it just means that I just have to work a little more, save a little more, and get the budget for it, because at this point I have no budget whatsoever to buy a new battery. I just don't. And I think I also want to make sure that this isn't a call for people to donate to me or anything like that. Although I would appreciate it, but please do not don't. You don't need to. I think it's important to be able to stand on your own 2 feet, develop your planning. Sometimes it's okay to hurt a bit, but not to the point where it's destroying you. Okay, I think a bit of trauma can lead to some good lessons being learned, but that trauma can't be detrimental to the point where it breaks you. And unfortunately, sometimes that's what happens to a lot of people. People are broken, and it's difficult for them to help themselves, fix themselves. And at that point, and maybe at that point that you need to see a professional and develop a plan and follow through on that plan, and understand you're going to want to quit again and again and again. But remember that expression, remember why you started, remember your goals, write that stuff down, get an accountability partner or an accountability group, join a community that's going to encourage you in doing the right thing, that's going to encourage you to move towards your goal, okay? So what's the plan again? Oh yeah, with bills piling up, everything's expensive. It's just, everything has just been insanely expensive. Gasoline is expensive, food is expensive, clothing, well, I don't buy a lot of clothes, so, but a lot of things have become much more expensive, and it's really time to sort of, I guess the expression is hunker down and figure out a way to let this truck go through. Figure out a way to just try to get through the next couple of years. Unfortunately, my timing has been horrible in that I keep going back to it. My battery is broken again. My battery is broken, rather, not again. So I'm thinking of maybe working a little more if there's overtime available, and pick that up and add it. But any earnings that I make, basically goes towards my bills and all the other priorities that I have. You know, the van build was really an amazing. This van build was a gift to myself. I never thought it was going to be possible. It costs. I mean, compared to most van builds, this thing was very affordable, very cheap, and I mean, even at that point, it was beyond the budget that I allotted for it, right? And you know, you've heard me use the word budget a lot, and really, that's the only way I think that's going to keep people safe and good financial health, because we live in a monetary system designed to basically procure I'll say it, okay, like a master-slave relationship. And what I mean by that is you'll have a boss, usually, okay, and then you have a worker, and usually that worker is me. Now you could say, well, I run my own business, I am my own boss. Actually, you're not. Your customer's the boss. Your clients are the boss. And really, I think you're fooling yourself if you don't think you have a quote-unquote master. It's not a nice term, but I'll just use that term because the slave-master relationship has been ongoing for centuries and centuries. You look back in the history, okay? So in a way, you kind of have to accept it, get used to it, so you can move forward. Get a bit of joy out of life. However, I also know individuals, YouTubers, you know, who have held their own in that they've developed a YouTube channel, they've developed some kind of skill, or they've developed a set of subscribers, usually in the hundreds of thousands, that allows them to live a fairly, what appears to me, fairly decent life. And yeah, maybe those are the ones you can say don't have bosses. But before that happens, I want to show you something. Look at this. That's insane. Wow, I said insane, and guess what? I'm running out of gasoline. It's okay, I've got enough to make it to work. Okay guys, I'm going to be signing off. I just wanted to say thanks very much for visiting. I wanted to post this video. I didn't know when I'm going to post this. Hopefully by the weekend, you know. And I just wanted to let you know that everything's pretty cool. I'm just trying to sort out some stuff right now. I think this is going to be the first few weeks, the first like consecutive month, let's say, where I wasn't consistent in my YouTube postings within the last couple of years. And you know, that's how these things go, right? The ebb and flow of YouTubing. And I love posting YouTube videos, but really at this point I really have to take care of some stuff. I miss you guys, and I really appreciate people chiming in from previous videos and sending messages, and also the messages that I got. Guys, I'm done, and I want to let you know there's one thing I really need to let you know, one thing that you must know, one thing that you need to believe, and that's, I'm going to say it, if you've been in this channel, you're going to remember it. Remember. You're awesome. Remember that. There's something awesome about you. There's something awesome that you could do. Remember, you could do stuff, but remember, you have to plan it, and in some cases, you got to write that stuff down, okay? Okay, I'm done. Have a great day, and I hope to post another video soon.